Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today, we're going to react to Did Fame Get the Best of Dage Loaf? This is by my boy, Stunning Growth. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
If you ever disrespect, hold your thought, eat this tech, do more, talk less.
Deja Monet Trimble, born April 8th, 1991. One thing I love about music is the rare times when you come across an artist that's totally different from everyone else. They might have a few things similar to someone else, but their total package and what they bring to music overall is something never before seen. Ice Spice isn't famous or had success because she's a great rapper. Actually, her skills is probably the least memorable thing about her, with all due respect, but you have to admit that when she came into the game, we hadn't seen an image like hers or shy confidence in her sexuality like hers, and for that reason, she lasted as long as she did and has a chance to carve out a lane in pop culture. Dage Loaf, no question, is another great example, but only her talent was immediate and evident as soon as she opened her mouth. Her voice is like nothing else in that it's so soothing and nonchalant, confident but not loud, and puts you in a mood is the best way I can explain it. Couple that with the words she's actually saying that are quite the opposite from her unassuming voice. Lyrics of not being the one to mess with, and the extent she's willing to take the violence, maybe not her, but certainly able to get it done if need be. Then there's her style, which is also fresh and right on time, as this slender, small in stature female whose mannerisms exude swagger, for lack of a more modern word, and cool as ice. She doesn't need all the jumping up and down, extreme rapper hands and hip movements to get her point across, which is why I think males took to her just as much as females did. She's like one of the guys, but not in need of being all in the videos, all in the spotlight, and it makes her seem easy to be around and easy to interact with. All these qualities added to the uniqueness Dage Loaf brought to the table, not to mention the name itself, which starts the conversation with the usual question, what the f is a Dage Loaf? In 2014, she rose to almost immediate fame behind the ultra-catchy hit single Try Me that encompasses every quality mentioned about Dage Loaf, easy to sing along to by anyone, and stormed up the rap charts, peaking at number 8 and top 50 in the country. The year closed without an album release from the hottest new rapper in the game at the time, and 2015 brought even more success with 2 platinum singles, Hey There with Future, and one of my favorite Dage Loaf songs and collabs, Back Up with Big Sean, and also the XXL Freshman List. 2015 closed as well without an album, but an EP filled with promise. Her debut album wouldn't release for 6 years after her initial fame, and it would be her only studio album ever released. For as unique as Dage Loaf came into the game to her only releasing 1 album and sprinkles of music in between, the second question about Dage is what happened to her musically. Let's talk about it. Salute to Heisenberg SG7MC for this request. It's your boy JC Stunning Growth Music. Get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Dage Loaf is a rapper from Detroit, Michigan that grew up in the hood, as she describes it, being an environment of trauma and extreme paranoia. Shortly after her father died when Dage was just 4 years old, she moved in with her grandmother, who she describes as not your regular cane-toting grandma. She allegedly sold drugs and was known in the streets. Dage, on the other hand, was quiet and coy about her passion for music and wanted to one day become a rapper. She'd spend 3 semesters in college before dropping out to focus on music. After the release of her Just Do It mixtape, she attracted the attention of Say It Ain't Tone, famous for his work with Big Sean and his label and management team IGBM. He says he could see she was a star and had a vision for her becoming that. Dage releases Try Me late 2014, and it brought the fame she asked for, but was nothing like she expected, and admitted most of the time it was a difficult experience to deal with. She signed a major deal with Columbia Records in hopes to take her career to another level, but for these reasons, things didn't go as planned. Stunt number 1, the delay of her debut album. One of the unspoken rite of passages for artists is releasing a successful body of work in the form of an official album. This solidifies that the success of your hit single and music wasn't a fluke and shows you can be more versatile than just a catchy single and personality. Try Me When It came out was a nationwide hit song. Even Drake quoted the lyrics on Instagram, along with more celebrities coming out to recognize the new artist, a part of the XXL freshman class. It was certified in the clubs, and Deja's personality and style made her an even more interesting artist. Releasing the song October in the year, it wasn't expected she released an album the same year, with the singles still climbing and areas of the world she hadn't even touched yet. But when 2015 came and went without an album, it's like the excitement began to die down. She still released music and even an EP in 2015 with 2 platinum singles that could have easily carried an album. Backup itself was ultra popular and right on time, featuring one of the hottest rappers in the game, Big Sean, also a Detroit native who Deja has been compared to in style and look since coming into the game. They both starred on that song, but somehow the ball was dropped on capitalizing off the popularity of the song and her being a part of the controversial but popular XXL freshman class by releasing her commercially awaited album. 2016 came and went with no music at all. Then 2017, a gold single popped up showing there was still interest in her sounds, but again, no album. 2018, another non-album, non-charting single before separating from Columbia Records in 2019. In 2020, she released her debut album independently, but by then, her buzz had completely gone cold with the music and socially. It didn't hit the charts and none of the songs made a lasting impact enough to motivate her to continue dealing with all that comes with being a rapper. It's one of those situations where being on a major label wasn't beneficial to the artist and it stunted her growth in a time she was hot. Stunt number 2, fame was a bigger issue than expected. What comes with being interesting is constant attention and people wanting to know the intimate details that make you who you are. An elephant in the room with Loaf since the beginning has been her sexuality and whether she preferred this side or that side, and maybe it's one of the reasons she moved closed door to things like interviews and being spontaneously asked questions about who she is, along with being active on social media. That and not being used to being in the spotlight, growing up as quiet little Deja. She was excited to finally make something of herself and break through with her music, but what came with fame and being an interesting artist was a constant pressure to project a perfect image at all times and never having the public space to just enjoy life. Also, the pressures of dealing with the industry all drove Deja into a depression familiar to her since a child, dealing with her father being killed right outside the apartments she stayed in. Her mom wasn't in the mental state to take care of her, leading to separating from her and moving in with her grandmother, who was very strict and serious. She wanted to be recluse, but the industry wanted more Loaf. She even threatened to retire in 2021 after her career wasn't going as expected. She describes fame as something she had to adapt to. People constantly watching, keeping her from living and being herself. She feels she couldn't be 100% happy in the light and it hurt her music and place in the industry. Stunt number 3, not enough output. Everything said leads to one conclusion and bottom line. Loaf hasn't and doesn't release enough music. It could be past label situations that's jaded her, or the difficulties of being an independent artist, trauma in her life she's still dealing with, or reasons only she understands. But what's apparent and true about the entertainment industry is it only respects the ones that can stay above water. You don't always have to have your own wave or be riding someone else's, but you have to be a voice present at all times, able to satisfy your current fans and always be attracting new ones. Dej Loaf is a nice artist. Her music is like a whole vibe to get into, and fans clearly appreciate her and wants her to continue, but possibly turn all the way up when it comes to work ethic and releasing music. Or more, just being a presence in the game. But as she expressed, she doesn't like social media and struggles with all the attention and pressure to always look your best, even when inside you're struggling with abandonment, trust issues, and lack of enthusiasm for being famous. She released a single called I'm Back in 2022 that showed she still had that infectious voice and delivery, promising to race to the money, but not much has happened since. All in all, Dej Loaf is a dope artist that can always have a place in the game because of her gifts, but she has to believe it herself and maybe deal with the inner struggles she has before she can blossom like everyone believes she can. Here's to her realizing that in time. Salute, much respect, but for these reasons, her growth musically has been stunted. It's your boy JC Stunner Growth Music, and I'm out.
Right. Oh, alright. Yeah, man. I was always wondering what happened to Dej Loaf. I didn't even know she dropped an album in 2020. I gotta go listen to that. Because I was wondering what happened to Dej Loaf. She was popping in 2017 with she did that collaboration with Jacquees and shit. She had the hood on lock. All the bitches was playing that one song. You belong to somebody else. Bet you belong to somebody else. Nah, bro. I hated that fucking song. Why? Because the bitches kept playing that goddamn song and it got on my motherfucking nerves, bro. I swear to God, bro. I swear to God, bro. I swear. That fucking song got on my fucking nerves, bro. Cause you belong to somebody else. And they had the other song too. Met her at the club. Pop a bottle, show love. VIP, love. That, bruh. Like, I was wondering what happened to Dej Loaf because she had the hood on lock. 2017, her and Jacquees, they had the hood on lock. 2017, but then around that time, that's when Cardi B came out. City Girls started popping. Megan Thee Stallion was behind the scenes getting ready to explode. Like, yeah, she missed out. She missed out. She should have been on at least one Cardi song by now, bro. A Dej Loaf and Cardi B song, that should be fire, bro. Not gonna lie to you. I always wonder what happened to Dej Loaf, man. But anyways, though, that's just gonna about do it for this one. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. I'll get back to you too then. Peace out.